No more fucking around. It's Wild Style Radio. Wild Style Radio. Style Radio.
Stand up and shout!
What is up? Stand Up and Shout Rock Show. And we're back. We're reunited, and it feels...
Remember, that was the old Jimmy Fallon thing. When he was on Saturday Night Live, we're back. Remember when he did that little DJ sketch he did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we are back, and this is the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show. We're coming to you live from Salisbury Center Studios in Manassas, Virginia, part of the Wild Style Network. What's up, my friend?
Hey, man, we're back. John, we got our producer, John, back, like, behind the wheel again. He's fatigued. He's beat down. He's not feeling as good as we are, but we're going to bring him in anyway. We're not letting him off the hook.
Not for now.
We'll see.
All right, so it's been a little bit. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. It's been about a month.
It's been about a month since we did a little broadcast. So we've had a lot of rock events fly around like over the month of September.
A lot has been happening for sure.
I know. It's very exciting in good and bad ways, I guess.
It's good. You know, normally as things start to trend towards the end of the year, things start to quiet down a little bit, but that hasn't started yet.
Not at all. It's been the busy fall, like I guess for a lot of people in a lot of ways.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're kind of like hashing some rock and roll happenings, giving our wonderful and valued opinions on some rock and roll news and events. Yep. We haven't really had, we have all this news and rock and roll happenings, but we haven't had any really big shows in the month of September.
Not till next week.
No, I feel like we're about to light up with a whole bunch, which is really cool. It's a great, situation to have. Like to have too many of us.
The month of May was a whole year's worth of shows.
Exactly.
So
peaks and valleys this year.
Needed a little recovery.
We did. We have that. Now we're recovered.
Yeah,
we need
let's roll.
Now we need a little debauchery.
Yes.
You go to the binge and purge. Yeah.
Right.
All right, so here we go. So we're doing this in the format of a little herd and word where we go over these rock happenings and we very poetically and very academically come up with one word to complete, the latest headline in rock news.
Yep.
And then we can be a little more descriptive after we give that word.
For sure.
And if you're listening, we always like to hear your words, your good words.
Yeah.
Whether it be fair or foul, we'll be the judge and jury of that.
Or just tell us we don't know what the F we're talking about.
Right, exactly. We'll tell you that you're wrong. All right, so herd and word, here we go. Jumping into it. John, there we go. John's got the slides up. A little graphic from the art department. And we'll go into topic number 1, maybe.
Right.
All right. You want to read this one out?
Sure.
All right.
I actually pulled up the wrong deck, but yeah.
No.
So recently it was announced that Twisted Sister is going to celebrate the 50th year anniversary of them as a band.
Right.
And doing a full tour.
Doing a full tour as a 50th anniversary tour for the band Twisted Sister, which may seem not so shocking to hear that number 50 for some of you, but it also may feel shocking to others of you. So, Kevin, you want me to give my word first while you play with your deck over there?
Sure.
All right. So my word for this, and my opinion on this tour, is conflicting. I have conflicting feelings about this. So, first of all, I'm going to start by saying I've seen Twisted Sister multiple times over multiple years, and I've never seen a bad Twisted Sister show. And that's the positive side of my conflicted feelings about them announcing a 50th anniversary tour, because when you say 50 and you say that number, it sounds wickedly old. And it makes you fearful. Are these guys going to be able to pull off the live performances that they've had in the past and have it be as high energy and, and just as bitchin' as it was, in all those past performances? I will say that, and you and I, we know this. We've seen Dee Snider away from Twisted Sister more recently, even as of 2 years ago. And when we saw him do several songs, just even at the M3 Rock Festival with Bret Michaels' band, it was stellar, right? Like, Dee is a beast frontman. So I would expect Dee Snider to be there and showing up, but I don't know where the rest of the band stands, right? And Twisted Sister always really kind of projected themselves, and I know that Dee has spoken to it, where Twisted Sister was always going to perform as the same band as they started 50 years ago in 1975. All original members.
Right.
And that's impossible now with the death of AJ Pero,
Yep.
the drummer. And then their bassist, Mark Mendoza, is not a part of this tour.
Yep. And as they talked about it, it was irreconcilable differences.
Right. So
They're
you're getting
divorced.
So it's that's where the negative side of this comes in for me. So where they made this oath to see all original members, they're breaking that oath. You're not going to see all original members. I feel that Dee will show up, and you're bringing their guitarists in now. JJ French and I want to go with Eddie Fingers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Eddie Ojeda.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for that last name help.
Yep.
I wanted to go with the nickname of Fingers on that one. I'm sure they will, but it does. I don't know. Hopefully, it still feels as like badass as what a Twisted Sister show used to feel like. And it was the last time we played like live together was 10 years ago. So I'll throw that out also.
Right.
All those
There
members.
was some sort of some kind of a rock and roll. It wasn't Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but it was like an induction ceremony.
Right.
And I think Adam and the Metal Hawks played
That's
with them.
right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's the one interview I still say I wish we had over again.
Right.
I just did not know about Adam and the Metal Hawks when we talked to them. I'm sorry, fellas. I'd love to talk to y'all again if you want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. Dee is going to bring it, and he's even mentioned it in a couple of the interviews and articles that he's going to do everything he can to get into shape. And the taste that we got at the Bret Michaels show at M3 2 years ago, sort of wet the whistle. My word is, I came up with expected.
Oh, you expected this, huh?
Yeah, well, when you come out, obviously Dee is a talker. He's got quite a bit of opinions on things.
Right.
And so it's been asked,
Right.
Are you guys going to do a reunion?
Right.
And he kind of poo-pooed the idea initially, but he's like, yeah, we've been offered tons and tons of money, and if we decide to do it,
Right.
So you figured if he's throwing that out there,
Right.
from my perspective, I think he was trying to gauge it with fans.
Sure.
Do a pulse check. See,
Sure.
are people into this?
Sure.
And so, and we often see that, right? All of a sudden Ace and Peter show up at the KISS convention.
Right.
And then the next thing,
Right.
oh, guess what?
Right.
We're getting back together.
Right.
So I felt it was probably expected.
Okay.
I don't know that, it was 100%, but, the vibe I was getting was this is probably going to happen.
Right. I'm gonna ask to me the ridiculous simple question to you right now. Are we going?
Fuck yeah, we're going.
Right.
I think our
I
buddy
was planning
Eric.
on going. There's no
Right.
doubt. Like, right.
Well, and I think our buddy Eric hit it on the mark when we were text chatting about it the other day. It's probably going to be at M3.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that too.
So yeah, we're going.
I know. Well, I got a family wedding that first weekend of May. I know. I am dying. So that would be the one
Well,
thing.
then maybe I'm going.
Yeah, I
and
know.
Eric's going.
I know. Believe me, it's killing me. Killing me. All right. So either we can move M3 or move the family wedding, and I don't know if that'll work.
Who knows? Because maybe it is going to move a little bit
Right.
because the polling and the surveys they were sending out.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're potentially going to try and change a little bit of the makeup of the festival.
And if they
so.
do a mix like the Boardwalk Rock Festival in Ocean City, which is very close and very not only close in terms of distance, but also close in date, you had that mix of old and new acts. And I'd love to see that. And it'd be great to see Twisted Sister be a part of that.
Or maybe they do it at both.
Right, exactly. Right. Absolutely. All right, so we'll see. That's why I'm conflicted.
Right.
I'm still there with we'll see. All right, so number 2 in our heard and word topics of the day. This one I brought. This one's, you can blame me on this one, Kevin. Turnstile, September 10th appearance on NPR. So that's National Public Radio's Tiny Desk was. You want me to give my word first?
Sure.
All right. Because I gave first last time, but I can give first again. Hardcore.
All right.
Hardcore, baby. I am so in love with Turnstile. I've fallen in love with that band like over the past 6 months, like nobody's business. And so I wasn't expecting to see this, and it's funny. So like when I'm gonna like fess up the home story on this one, I'll fess up that I put this slide together and I threw this one out there. So when I was doing all of that, there's the link that's in the bottom of the slide that was just thrown up to the full appearance off of Never Enough. They played 4 songs off of Never Enough, like in that album that was released this year. And I played out, and Ashley, my girlfriend, as I'm like, thinking, coming up with the word hardcore, as in also to me, hardcore punk, just throw back to hardcore punk. John just threw me a message, which totally threw me off as a deer in the headlights. But yeah, so like, she's like, you're watching this again? Like you're watching that performance again? And it's not like I was watching it like 3 or 4 times. It was probably like the 100th time. So in all of those views, I'm probably responsible for triple digits of those views, because I tell you, when I watched it in that little small environment of NPR, like downtown in DC, and it's local to us geographically, like broadcasting out of here.
Yep.
It's also local to Baltimore, where Turnstile is from. And then you see Brandon Yates, like chanting out the last lines of Birds, and then just getting revved up into that song with the energy of whoever was let in there and however they were let in there. I don't know the details of that. And then he goes flying up over the crowd into a crowd surf, the first time that's ever been seen on national public radio. I thought of you.
Yeah.
I thought of us. That felt like, I mean, that's where it connects with me, and that's where I go with the word
It's
hardcore.
almost as big as Buddies.
Yes, that's what I mean. Right. Like the little, like Buddies down in Blacksburg, Virginia, with Egypt playing.
Right.
And when we were doing that, when we were like just moved by the song so much that we were going to go up over the crowd, we were going to be a part of that mosh, it felt very home to me, and very like, it's just the strength of the music on top of it. That to me, it's not hardcore punk in the sense of Bad Brains, 40 years ago,
right,
but it's evolved. And I like the way that Turnstile has evolved that sound. And I know that even like some of their fans aren't necessarily big on the last 2 albums. There's like some sellout feel to it because they've used more electronics in their music. But it also feels more relevant. It feels more new. It feels like it's the fresh coat of paint that's needed for that hardcore sound. So in that way, like, kudos to you, Turnstile, for like bringing it to NPR. Surprisingly, and God bless NPR for having them, because I can't imagine like another punk band going on and playing the Tiny Desk show.
Yeah, well, and I didn't know a whole lot about the Tiny Desk concert, so obviously did a little bit of research after watching that, and my word for it was amazing.
Woo! Yeah.
I thought it was fucking. It hit all the marks.
Right.
And, it was live. It had that intimate feel because you heard the instruments. Now, they must have planned for the
crowd.
The crowd.
Yeah.
Because it suddenly showed up in the last song.
Right. They weren't there for most of that performance.
Right.
Yeah.
But, the stage dive and the crowd surf. And then the other guy, I'm like, uh-oh, this is about to just kind of wreck this office.
Right. Right.
Which is pretty, and then you could see like the security or whatever was trying to, hey, let's
bring it back
a little bit. So, but I did a little bit of research, and they've been doing this for 16 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it spun out of Bob Boylan, who's one of the music reporters at NPR, I guess at South by Southwest they went to.
Okay.
And said you couldn't get a good sense of the quality of the musicians because there was just so much crowd noise. And and it was a particular band that he was interested in seeing live. And so then like a week later, they started this.
The Tiny Desk.
Yeah. And I'm like, and then I wanted to see who all has done this. And so I went through the entire list. So if you guys didn't know about this or haven't heard about it, and if you want to catch even the Turnstile performance, they have their own NPR Tiny Desk concert YouTube channel.
Yes.
And every single one of the concerts are there.
Right.
But it's pretty eclectic. I mean, there's jazz, there's punk, there's rock, there's pop, emo, R&B and hip hop. It was amazing. Black Crowes have been on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guar.
Yeah.
I was like, let's see
didn't know
how
Guar.
heavy this gets. and Guar is about as heavy as it got. And Turnstile. But yeah, there's tons of, Jonas Brothers and even Taylor Swift did a
I
Tiny
didn't know
Desk
that.
concert.
There we
It
go.
was wild. It's
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
so, and then even during COVID, they did the Tiny Desk at Home concert series. So
right.
bands were performing, which is a whole nother separate channel. I didn't even dig into that one to see who did it, but pretty cool stuff.
That's why I feel it's very rock and roll. Like everything you're describing. So like you and I remember when nobody knew of Metallica except the fans of Metallica. And that was really spread like back in that day, not through like any social media or internet presence, but word of mouth, and tape trading. And then, or fanzines as they used to call them, the fan magazines. That's how we came across it. But when, like, to me, this feels like this in this circumstance.
Sure.
When the fans hear it, they hear it. And you don't get, a major label that's doing this major promotion, behind Metallica at the time.
Sure.
Not putting out a major video at the time. It's the same story with Black Sabbath, even before Metallica's time.
Yeah.
But they find these other avenues, to show their performances and to show how good their music is. And that's what this feels like to me. Like Turnstile is creeping up. They got millions of followers in their social media. And they don't really have that widespread press, that's coming out and promoting and pushing them. And they're still developing their like a really strong fan base. And that gives me hope for rock and roll. And that makes me very excited.
Well, and I can't remember if it was Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, but Fallon,
Yeah.
like a month ago, they performed on his show.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, that one.
Stunning.
When I heard that, I'm like, all right, I'm watching that one.
Right.
So.
And they were fantastic on that too.
Yeah. I mean, we're almost it's a lot easier these days to create the music and get it out.
Yeah.
But it's almost, record companies the way it used to be and with MTV and all that stuff. And it's kind of gone by the wayside. So you're almost back like that, but it's still a lot easier to find and get the music out. So
Right. Yeah.
I'd agree.
I know. All right. So we're both. So I guess we're promoting right now. We're promoting two things. We're promoting Turnstile and NPR's Tiny Desk.
Absolutely.
Because there is some surprising shit that's on there. That's really worth it.
If NPR wants to get a really good live band that would have a great feel,
Days of Five?
Dirty Honey.
Oh.
Then Days of Five.
I love it. Absolutely. All right. I'll read this, but I'm gonna let you, kick off this one off. All right. Bruce Dickinson's version of the national anthem in Pittsburgh, kicking off a Pittsburgh Steelers football game, was.
I'm gonna say this in my best Neil Patrick Harris voice. Legendary.
Oh, excellent.
He rocked it.
Yeah.
And this will lead to some of my comments about one of our later questions.
I know. We have a tie-in.
To have a Brit
Yeah.
at an American football game
Right.
doing the national anthem.
Right.
And he made it Maiden.
Right. Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a little rough out of the gate, but it's such a hard song to sing. Not that I really know
Right.
much about singing, but
Yeah.
that's what I've read and heard, and that it's it's a challenging song.
Sure.
But as he got, about 20, 30 seconds into it,
Right.
I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
Exactly. It was metal for sure.
Yes.
I mean, he brought a metal feel to the. My word is overdue. This is just so overdue.
Yep.
It's so overdue for rock and roll to be recognized by the NFL. Like this is, it's, like you're saying, we're going to get into it in later conversation.
Yep.
But it's ridiculous. It is recognized in the sense that you hear it all the time while there are breaks in football games, pauses, in between downs.
Yep.
It is the music you hear over and over again, and you typically don't hear. You might hear some rap along with some metal and rock and roll and hard rock, but you're not hearing, like, there's your Taylor Swift. Like, to get back to that,
Right.
There's not too many Taylor Swift breaks. So, like, to get Bruce Dickinson, and man, kudos to the city of Pittsburgh. I hate to say that. I'm a Ravens fan, so it kills me that like Baltimore didn't grab this guy, and Pittsburgh did, but. I feel like that's like more kudos to Pittsburgh because it's a blue collar rock and roll town.
It is,
and it feels like the crowd responded in a really positive way. Like they appreciated him being there, and it's the dudes that love football and they love rock and roll, and they're hearing that all the time. So they got one of their own presenting the national anthem to them.
Yep.
John, I saw you grab the mic. Were you chomping at the bit?
No, when you're talking about rock music being in NFL and only being in like the background, and I was going to say they're diversifying by. Yeah, I'm tired. That's why I didn't say anything. So ignore me.
I think you're kind of on there, brother. Like, I'm with you. Like it. So again, you're talking about the hard song to sing, and I blanked out on my girlfriend's word because she had a different word for this. But she was a little worried. She was a little concerned about the vocal performance in the beginning too. So and being classically trained, probably wanting a classic approach to a classic song like the national anthem, that didn't happen. But I do think that he put his bend on that, which was hard rock and metal, and it fits, and it fit well.
For sure.
They had the helicopter flyovers, you know, the military component of the national anthem fit in really well with it. And kudos for Bruce Dickinson, who's become frustrated, I think, a lot of times with Iron Maiden's recognition, not only with something like the NFL, but also in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We've talked about that left and right.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so kudos for him for doing it.
Well, and I think the same day that he sang the anthem, then he came down and was at the Fillmore.
Yeah.
With his solo band.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. So good job, Bruce. We're a fan. Do it again, please. We want to see more.
More often.
Absolutely. Okay, next topic, because we got multiple topics to get through.
Sir.
All right, this one. Were you expecting this next one that came up? We're about ready to talk about Vince Neil. Were you expecting this news?
Well, I mean, they had advertised they canceled shows and they canceled the start of their residency due to a health issue, and they said it was Vince's health issue. So, you know.
Yeah. So our next topic, I'll just go ahead and spit it out there. The reveal of Vince Neil's stroke was on Christmas Day of 2024 was.
I'll go. My word is not surprising.
Okay. Yeah.
Because, you know, obviously, you know, like most of us, we're not getting any younger.
Sure.
And they announced he had some form of a health issue, but he's also not poster boy for, you know, Peloton.
Clean living. He was not a clean living guy.
Definitely that.
All right.
But, you know, of late, you know, well, definitely prior to the Stadium Series tour.
Right. You know, sure.
He was definitely made it to quite a few buffets, I would say.
Right. Gotcha.
And, you know, we've seen plenty of performances where even just getting around the stage was challenging for him. So, as unfortunate as it is, and I don't necessarily want to,
of course,
poke
it's
too
sad.
much fun
it's horribly sad, no doubt about it.
But yeah, I mean, when you kind of live the lifestyle and you weren't really 100% focused on trying to stay healthy, or maybe he was and just couldn't. But these are the things that happen.
Sure. I'm right in line with you there, Kevin. We're in line for pretty much everything so far because my word was telling. You know, this was telling, and in other words, telling of. It explained a lot, you know, what you're bringing up, those cancellations that happened, you know, moving throughout the year of 2024. Also a little bit, you know, to the demise of Motley Crue. Like, that's something that we've been talking about for a couple years now. It's been happening for more than a couple years, though, this kind of slow erosion of the band. And it's really painful to watch, you know, like, so obviously it's painful for us to watch as fans, but it's also even more painful, especially in this case, for Vince Neil to live. You know, like, to have to suffer because from my understanding from the little that was revealed about it, is that there was some type of temporary paralysis that came out of this.
Well, you know, and obviously because of Mick's condition, you know, we've seen that in him, and he's quite a bit older than the other three guys, but to see some other bands that are even older than these guys still getting around and being able to perform, it's a little disappointing to see that erosion of, you know, what we saw in our youth.
Absolutely, because they were such a great live band when they're healthy. I mean, not even going to say when they were younger, but when they're healthy, it is a solid, great live show. So do you think, like, we go back to this over and over and over again, we go to this, we talked about it a little bit with Twisted Sister, and then I asked you then, are you in? And you were like, hell yeah, like, there's no hesitation. How do you feel about a Motley Crue show?
So, I would definitely probably go. I think it would depend on how much they're charging.
Yeah, that's we remember that we've had that kind of debate like in other.
Right.
I can't remember what we called that game. Something of is the extent of was it worth it or is it worth it?
Yeah.
Or it may have been
like that.
a would you rather with like ticket prices thrown in there
Right.
when we were talking about ticket prices.
But, the big thing is everything that's kind of come out about the, backing tracks and, faking it. And we've seen it in some of the performances.
Sure.
We've seen them recently. So, there would probably be a little bit of hesitancy.
Yeah.
Particularly if they're going to charge, $400,
Several $100,
$500.
exactly.
To see them. It's
Sure.
like,
Right. No, that struggle that you're describing, I have too. Like it because it's also like I feel like we may have a little bit of a disadvantage in like deciding on that because we know what the old live shows were like. When I go back to even the 2005's Carnival of Sins, like if I think of that where they were, it was 3 acts of Motley Crue.
Right.
That was amazing. There was no opener, just 3 acts of them.
Yeah.
And they did like a solid 2.5, 3 hours with those 3 acts.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Hell of a show.
Well, and we even talked about it, before it got canceled. Eventually, was the Aerosmith farewell tour that ended up. The amount of money they were charging for that, and the number of times we'd seen them, and the number of great Aerosmith shows we saw, and we're like, is this really worth this amount?
Right.
And we were kind of
Right.
waiting to see, where the ticket price is going to trend
Because
down.
tickets were dropping. Like the
Yeah.
prices, like they were dropping below face. And that's what we paused on buying
Right.
tickets.
Now, if it does happen, may depend on where it is and all of that. But
Right.
that may be a situation where it's like, nope,
Right.
in.
Right. Exactly. Well, show or not, we've always been fans of Vince Neil, and so we wish him the best of health. And that was, to me, a very tragic reveal, but also like I go back to my word, a telling reveal. It really explains a lot to the turmoil of Motley Crue over the last year. Okay. All right. Next topic. Next round. We're going to Shinedown.
So Shinedown
this
has
weekend,
announced
this coming weekend.
they're going to perform. And the question is it a country debut?
Yeah, right.
But they're going to perform at the Grand Ole Opry.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
If they're Shinedown songs, you'd be willing to bet that there is a country tinge to those songs. I mean, they're not going to go in there and just blow up some Shinedown
no.
at the Grand Ole Opry.
And it sounded like, from the articles that there's some new material in the works.
Exactly.
That may also have that country tinge to it.
Right.
So the word I came up with is intriguing.
Oh, okay. Look at you're giving it a chance.
Well,
We never really talked Shinedown. We have not talked about this band.
I
don't
mean,
think,
if
in
Dolly
all of our
Parton can do rock and Beyonce can do country, and
Right.
obviously country's huge right now in
right.
pop music.
Right.
So,
Right.
Intriguing in the sense of, are they doing this to try and pull in
Right.
a different crowd?
Right.
They did talk about, some of them grew up and are from Nashville. So the Grand Ole Opry had a lot of appeal to them, as they were growing up. So, they're excited to do this performance for that reason.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
I think I have an open mind sometimes.
Okay. I don't. So I picked one of your words. This is soft. This is soft. I don't like this at all. Like for a lot of the reasons that you just brought up. Everything seems to be country right now. Like country's having a hell of a run. It seems to be like just the year of it, right? Like I go to tailgates, football games, like locally here. It seems like all the frats when I'm there at those tailgates and they're open, they're playing some country music, and I miss some rock and roll. I would like to see something more like Turnstile. You know what I mean? Like in those places and those events. And I want to see some good, rebellious, hedonistic, high energy moments. I don't want to see like a bitchin' band like Shinedown
Maybe they'll
water
change.
down their sound and go country. I
Maybe
just don't
they'll
want to see
change
it.
their name to Cash Down.
Right. And if does, you could have said sellout, but I was sticking to that rock and roll, kind of feel of like maintaining your integrity and maintaining your badassness which is why I went, this is soft. This is just a soft move. And I love the Grand Ole Opry. I love country music. Not wholeheartedly. I love rock and roll way more.
You like.
You know, right? Yeah, exactly. I respect it. How about that? I respect all of that. That's probably the
I
better
like
word.
you. Do you like me? Yes.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
I respect all of that. But like, I want rock and roll to be rock and roll because that's my first love. You know what I mean? That is my first love and passion. So I don't want to see it, you know, it's almost like you brought up Dolly Parton. Like, that's a great, like, kind of inverse, right? Like, her struggle to like be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and she didn't really understand why. And sure, she had an influence on a lot of rock musicians, but then she kind of backtracked and like, well, I'll cut a rock and roll album so that I can kind of fit in a little bit more. You know, like, this didn't even happen like in that direction. Like, I don't know how they got invited into the Grand Ole Opry. I don't know if it was their idea or someone else's idea, but it seemed like it is a sellout move.
So I'm going to be
Tell you
hypocritical on this one.
Oh.
I have a word for it.
Okay.
Gay. So even though I say that, the Salisbury Center will be bringing line dancing to you every Friday night starting in December. So we're selling out as well.
But that's not, I mean, this is a venue that hosts many events.
Yeah.
That's fair. Like, I feel that that's fair. It's not like it's just
and Delta Spur has been here, and they're
you
coming
got your Hank
again.
Williams Jr. tributes coming up this
next
weekend.
Next weekend.
Right.
This weekend is boxing.
Okay, yeah.
Shinedown is also next
weekend. Okay,
Yeah.
I got my. I'm deep into way too deep into October already. Yeah.
It's after Buck Cherry.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And that. So, I don't know, fellas. You should keep bringing. I mean, I can understand also, like, you wanting to do something a little bit different. You just want to, like, kind of spread your wings, but do you have to publish it? Do you have to promote it? Do you have to, like, bring it? It's like almost like the Lulu thing with Metallica. You know, like, sure, scratch that itch.
Or like when Motley Crue was to go back to the Crew, talking about releasing some new material, and initially it was like, oh, this is going to be much heavier than anything we've done, and then somebody asked about it again, and Nikki Sixx was like, well, you know, it could be country,
right?
Like,
right?
Okay,
yeah,
you know, put that out there. I don't know,
right? To me, if you compare it to like Turnstile, I'm going to go back to this again and again now, like in this episode that we're talking about, as one of the better things that happened in rock and roll this year. Like, the Grand Ole Opry seems like a horrible idea, you know, in contrast. I don't see them like lighting up a stage dive in the Grand Ole Opry.
Never was a fan of Shinedown to begin with. So.
All right. That's why you're entertaining the idea. You're looking for something to grab onto.
Maybe people are going to not like it, and then they'll start throwing shit at them. I mean, who knows?
All right. Well, here we go. We'll get into something local here that just happened.
Yes, sir.
All right. The Foo Fighters' emergence at the Black Cat in Washington, D.C. on September 22nd was... Yeah, please.
I had two words.
Oh,
but
two words. You got hyphenated?
No.
No? Two different thoughts.
The one that I'm going to start with is encouraging.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, because we've had, you know, we did What Are the Odds? We've talked about, obviously,
Foo Fighters is a big topic.
The family issues that Dave has been dealing with of recent, and whether or not that might end them. And,
right.
you know, they did announce, you know, they were doing some shows over in Indonesia, somewhere in the Far East. And, you know, but now all these little pop-up things have been happening. You know, they did the 2 in LA, and then they did this one.
Yeah.
So I think it's encouraging. You know, they got the new drummer, and, you know, I think this is building into something that is going to result in new music and hopefully a bigger tour and, you know, something that get a little bit more than 30 minutes notice on.
Right.
Which was my other word, is disappointing.
Okay.
Because by the time you messaged me about it,
I know
it was over.
I know.
So it's like, what the
I know.
So
it was like, so like this Black Cat show coming together, like to talk to the logistics of it. Obviously, it was like unexpectedly announced.
Right.
There's been a couple other shows since that are, you know, just kind of like Dave Grohl doing the same approach, just kind of like popping up along the East Coast and then announcing in these small venues that the Foo Fighters are going to play it. They announced it, I believe, at 4 o'clock that day. I saw that at about 5. So I missed it by an hour. And it was no online sale. So, like, there was no way for tickets to be exchanged online. There was no escalation of ticket prices. The beauty of it was they were $30.
Sure.
So, like, if you had 30...
And you had to get in line within 30 minutes of when they announced it because there was no way you're getting a ticket.
No. Well, I saw somebody post. Now, I don't know how reliable it was. It was about an hour and 15 minutes. It was 15 minutes after I saw it that they were in line. It was a woman that I know. She was standing in line. She had a bracelet to tag that she was in line, and there was a ticket count of still like 57 tickets available. So even after an hour, but there's no way, we live a good 30 miles from there without city traffic to be thrown in on top of it. It was on a Sunday, so that traffic might have been a little bit better. I don't know. But there was no way we're going to get down there in 57 spaces and be able to pop in that line and get a $30 ticket and go in and watch it.
Well, and I guess as the word got out, because our friend Jeanette, who was there, got the word, was able to get in line, said, there was a point in time where a guy was going down the line and got to a certain point. And he's like, rest of you guys, there's no effing way you're getting into this.
Right, yeah.
And turned them all away. So it's like, okay, it would have, and the videos I saw, 98 Rock obviously posted a bunch of stuff. But
DC 101.
It was a great show.
It was
and
badass.
it would have been so cool to be there.
Right. We're limited to one word, so we got to be poetic.
Yep.
So my thoughts on this, I really feel that this is the best thing that's happened to rock and roll this year, because I think the world needs the Foo Fighters. Like, we were talking about this all year long. They're a major hard rock act that will sell stadiums. And we saw it with Metallica.
Yep.
So like that was a nice uplifting thing.
Sure.
But so that things that don't happen to Shinedown doesn't happen to other great bands where you're tempted to go country and play the Grand Ole Opry. You need that belief and that faith in playing what you're supposed to play in the great rock and roll that you have. So like in this way, I chose like a little bit of a different word. I went with healing. I think that this is healing for rock and roll in that way, in the bigger picture. But of course, it's also personally healing for Dave Grohl. I mean, this was going home for him, and the Foo Fighters. So he's from this area, has some type of invested stake in the Black Cat. So it's his home club, so to speak, as in terms of a small club, finding his roots and finding his groove as a rock band. And that it's almost like Superman going back to the Fortress of Solitude, right? Like, finding yourself, centering yourself, doing what you're supposed to do, and get the Foo Fighters back to being the badass band that they are, and major stadium rock act that we'll go and see because there'll be enough tickets to go do it. Although we'll pay too much damn money. We'll have that $30.
Yeah, it won't be 30.
So like, I think it is it's healing for the Foo Fighters and healing for rock and roll. And I think it's one of the best things that's happened all year long. And I think it's a very positive thing. I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Yeah. All right. Cruising along. More and more rock news. Our producers just flipped. We have the owner of the Salisbury Center producing the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show. I love it. And I
charge extra for that.
There's a focus that I haven't seen in a long time. There's the eye of the tiger is happening out there on the other side of the wall. But look, that was much quicker than John. You just brought up the next heard word topic.
Because I know what I'm doing. Not like these other idiots that lollygag.
I'm gonna watch Kevin fly off the handle now, since you got him in that place.
You want me? I've been going first quite a bit, so I'll let you go first.
All right.
And then I'm gonna clean up.
It is blank that Bad Bunny was announced as the 2026 Super Bowl halftime headliner. There's so many words for this that I don't even remember what I chose. But I think I probably settled maybe a less emotional space than you did. I just said this is very predictable. Look, here, I'm going to make a statement I think about. This is not a sports show, but I think I'm going to make a statement here about sports that really kind of falls in line with like this predictable thought. I don't think the Super Bowl is for people that like football anymore. You know what I mean? I think it's a show that people that might kind of know about football, like that's who they appeal to. Like, the game itself even feels just I don't know, glitzy and watered down and, like hyped up, and the commercials, it's everything. Like, what if you just loved football and you hear the hard rock songs that you love? We were talking about this with Bruce Dickinson. You're hearing cutaways from Metallica, who deserve to be there. It would, to me, be the most and easiest and obvious time to have Metallica be the headliner at a Super Bowl show, and you pass them up for somebody that's not played, to me, that I've ever heard in any stadium in between downs or touchdowns or celebrations. I don't hear Bad Bunny popping up. I've never heard it. Maybe it does, but so in that watered down Super Bowl way, and it being just kind of a showcase game as opposed to like a really intense, solid football game, it's predictable and it's lame in that way.
Well, it's an event, right? And I've heard all these people say, oh, well, that's because it's not for football fans that are in the stadium.
Right.
It's all the corporate suits who I venture also aren't listening to Bad Bunny.
Right.
But, I think it's bullshit. That's my word.
I actually probably could have predicted that too.
Probably. Maybe I think it was Metallica's game, right? It's in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
They
hometown.
are the Bay Area.
Yeah. They play the shit out of Metallica in all NFL stadiums all the time.
Yep. They've played the national anthem before 49ers games. They played the national anthem before San Jose Sharks games. They've done it, for the San Francisco Giants as well. And
they just had a successful stadium tour. And they filled stadium with also, to me, non-traditional Metallica fans. We've talked about that. There's a lot of like kids and housewives that were in those shows that we've never seen before, Metallica shows.
so, and obviously we've talked about it. Howard Stern was hyping it up that, you guys should get Super Bowl performance in your hometown.
Yep.
So it just seemed like it was being kind of gift wrapped and they've earned it.
Absolutely.
So now the question becomes, are rock bands being overlooked
Right.
because they want to perform live? Because I've heard people
that's
say
true too, right.
that
It's too much work to have a live performance as opposed to a lip synced and dancey kind of performance. Yeah.
So is it that?
Yeah.
Or, and I've had this discussion with my kids who are like, well, this artist has millions and millions and millions of listens and followers on Spotify and all this stuff.
Right.
And yeah, that's probably the case in some instances, but not Metallica.
Right. And are those, but if you have those millions of listeners, that's where I get back to, like, are they football fans? Are they following the NFL as much as they're following Bad Bunny? And I'm going to probably guess that most of those folks, and nothing wrong with that, they're just kind of more into Bad Bunny than they would be into football. It's kind of like the Taylor Swift tie-in with Travis Kelce, and all of a sudden all these Swifties are now Chiefs fans. Like, would they be Chiefs fans if Taylor wasn't with Travis Kelce?
Taylor fans.
I don't even know if they would know that the Chiefs were in Kansas City.
She put the Kansas City Chiefs on the map.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. That's why I feel like this is just a show. It's not even for not fans of rock, but also for football fans. It's not even a good show for them.
It's a great time to go to the bathroom, though.
But there'll be a lot of people that will just tune in for that. They'll just tune in for Bad Bunny.
They might, yeah.
Yeah. You a Bad Bunny fan there, Mr. Salisbury?
Not even close.
Look, so I feel like
That was disappointing would be my word.
oh man, it's heartbreaking. It's terrible. There's a lot of words, but unfortunately, that's why I fall back. It's predictable because I have, in this other little gizmo that I have up. It's how you define rock and roll is when the last rock act was in. I mean, I would probably say it was Bruce Springsteen in 2009. That's almost 20 years ago. That's 14, 15 years ago that you saw The Boss in as a rock act, but not necessarily a hard rock act. You had 2014 Bruno Mars, and then that was the headlining act, but then the Red Hot Chili Peppers jumped in.
Right.
And then to your point, they lip synced their performance with Bruno Mars. And it was something that they talked about afterwards and described as one of the most regrettable things that they've ever done because they prefer to play live. I don't know. 2016 was Coldplay. Do you call Coldplay a rock act?
No.
Right? Like, I wouldn't either. If anything, the next year you have Lady Gaga. I would say that she's more rock and roll than Coldplay, personally. Oh, you have Maroon 5 in 2019. I don't know if you would, that's a soft rock act probably. But outside of that, I mean, I really see that 2009 was probably the last time you had really an agreeable name for rock and roll as the headlining act in the Super Bowl. And that's unfortunate because it's played all the time in regular games. I go back to that again and again. So to me, football fans must love it because it's being played there for their, entertainment to segue between events that happen in the football game.
Yep.
Yeah, sucks. All right, final topic, and John's not here because we kind of had this one out here for him. At least, we had to, because he's such a fan.
Okay.
All right, blank describes Mariah Carey's reveal of her grunge album, Chick. All right, I hyphenated this word. This is Bush League. This is so Bush League. Like, are you serious? Like in terms of we just talked about those Shinedown going country.
Right.
You could do this in the privacy of your own home. and she did. You know what I mean? This is evidently something she put out and she recorded some grunge songs in the 90s. I'm not sure the circumstances. Who knows? Maybe they were seriously entertaining the fact that at the peak of her popularity that she would release a grunge album, almost like Beyonce releasing a country album, and it would be received in the same way. But there'd be no way in hell like a grunge audience would receive Chick from Mariah Carey with the song Someone's Ugly Daughter as one of the first releases off of that album. Is so Bush League and it's so attention seeking right now.
I call it shocking. Because I agree.
Uh-huh.
So she didn't get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No. Right. Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
So she can't do a rock album.
Right.
So did she really record this stuff?
That's another good
or
question.
Is this hidden as a marketing ploy?
Right.
To look.
Right.
She's going to put this out and
I mean, because I'm not exactly sure 100% sure of the timing of the nominations for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm really glad you brought that up. I'm sure they're being considered right now. Right. So I think that this timing is not.
The induction ceremony is in November.
Right. But
and then the next one comes right behind it.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So like the nomination process is probably well underway, although it's not fully revealed. Right. So this to me feels like, not coincidental timing.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'd agree.
Yeah. Bush League. It's so Bush League.
I think that it shows how gangster Dolly is, though.
Right.
Because Dolly got inducted and then made an album to make it fit, and she's trying to do an album so that she can get in.
Right. In fact, Dolly even said no, and they talked her into it. Like other people talked. She was like, I really don't think I deserve this nomination. I don't think I'm going to take
That's
the
why
induction.
she's the queen, not Mariah.
Right. And Dolly even said, I think there's other people that kind of deserve it more than I do.
Yep.
And then they said, did you watch the Fallon clip?
No. Oh,
the interview with her?
no.
Oh, it's hilarious because he's like, well, maybe you'll release it at Christmas time. And then she said, well, it's actually more kind of like a Halloween type song. And then they played it. I'm like,
right.
Come on.
Bush League. It's so Bush League. And I just can't imagine. I never bothered. I never wanted to hit the play button. I never wanted to add to the stream or the feed or the whole frenzy of it all. So I don't need to. I know that this is not grunge.
You want to give her an extra 3 cents?
Exactly. No, not a penny more. This is not grunge. It will never be grunge. Someone's ugly daughter. How horrified would she be if someone called her that? How, I mean, she wouldn't be grunge about it. Her reaction would be probably very popular cool chick. You know what I mean? She would be, yes, exactly. She would not have a fuck you and punch you in the face reaction like probably a regular grunge chick would. She would, go, I don't know, running around with her hair on fire or something.
She wouldn't say, fuck you, Fuzzy.
Exactly. Yeah. So yes, we're ending on this note, by the way. This is our last.
Yeah.
We probably should end it on a more positive note.
Well, we've got positivity here
We do.
because we got a lot of events coming up here at
okay.
the Salisbury Center.
That are not Bush League.
Yes, absolutely not. So yeah, the fights are this coming weekend, but music-wise, there's a lot happening. Friday, October the 17th is the Punk Night.
Yeah.
Alex Van Stone's production.
He's been moving it lately.
Yeah.
You already mentioned, but Hank is next Saturday, the 11th. That should be a good one. Hopefully you guys can make it out.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
for Punk Night, it's No Quick Fix, Go On Red, and Punk O Pops performing.
So those are original punk acts, not tributes.
Yeah.
Oh, they are tributes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Did not know.
Then on Friday, November 7th, we got Sabbath doing the Black Sabbath
Which is a tribute. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And
They're
then
good too.
Mm-hmm.
following night is Emo Night
Mm-hmm.
with
Your night.
My night, yes. Our friends Riot will be performing.
Uh-huh.
Emotional Support and Dakota Bays.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot going on music-wise, event-wise.
Riot is Paramore
Paramore
tribute.
tribute.
Paramore
Correct.
tribute. Yep.
Our friend Joanna Horn. We have an interview with her, so she was a lot of fun. Yeah. We can bring her back in again. We'll talk to some of these folk. We'll make sure they get on the show, get their word out.
And then obviously the restaurant is open and
I know. Let's plug Squeak and Company.
Squeak
Yeah,
and Company.
Don't forget Delta Spur and
I did not know. I did
Delta
not know.
Spur
That's
on
news to me.
November the 21st.
That's
yeah,
news to me.
and then the next one is
December
right up
13th.
Wisk Alley.
Yes, December 13th is. I know the tribute. It's Rage Against the Machine and
Yep.
Stone Temple Pilots. but I
Lounge
don't-
Fly
there we
and
go.
Evil Empire.
Yes.
Yep.
I knew the tribute. Higher names. I didn't know the actual names.
Yeah, and we'll have an announcement soon, hopefully, for January regarding the EVIX concert,
Yes.
EVIX annual.
New Year's after New Year's. That is
one-
coming up.
That one's actually going to be in Nag's Head or something this year in a really small boutique setting for him
Okay.
because he has a new band.
Wait a minute. So Evic's not around, like the band Evic. We know Pete Evic's around. but-
Yes.
so it's not Evic
It's not
anymore.
going to be EVIC this year.
Man, this is big local news here for a big local act.
Yeah.
So no more Evic.
So he's going to make an announcement. I'm not sure what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But he's very excited about it. Thinks that it'll be an even bigger show than the other EVIC shows.
Okay.
So I think that's all that I can disclose. But that'll be the 24th of January.
That was a lot to disclose. So that
Yeah.
it's not a part of. Then he's still going with it.
It's not the usual EVIC crew.
right. And it was also there was this, that, and the other, right? Which was with Eric Brittingham and
Yeah, it's none of that stuff.
okay, all right, wow,
Yeah.
all right, some whole
'cause it
like a whole
Sounds
different-
like Cinderella's getting back together.
oh, I
Anniversary tour.
really that's great news.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen them. I remember the last time I saw them was 2011.
that should have been a heard word.
Yeah, I didn't. But that's news to me
Yeah.
too. I did not know that. I just heard that word, which is exciting though.
Yep. And then obviously Thursday night football, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Every Thursday night.
Along with what everybody wants to do to Jamie is kill
Kill
him for
Jamie.
Kill Jamie.
Bill Jamie.
So speaking of which,
Mm-hmm.
we really do need a favor.
Okay.
I could use a panelist for tonight.
Ooh. Oh.
Can
Kevin,
be
you
over
got,
by 8.
you got a
Be
hockey
me.
practice. I got a brother-in-law coming in town.
Can't wait. It'll be over by 8.
I mean, he's a magician.
Yeah, we'll make him appear here, and then you can disappear after that. Is he
All
better than Alan Wynn, the one pan magic, whatever he said? What was it?
The Laugh Pack class act.
Yeah.
No, he's not. I don't know if he's a Laugh Pack class act.
All righty.
All right.
All right.
Well, John's not here, so I don't know how we're
Oh, we're gonna.
I don't know how we're getting off of here. So We can pad a little bit more until he gets back, or we just go sort of end abruptly. I
Like
think.
walk out. So we were talking about that actually before, like right before we started up, that we were just going to start and then just like walk out and just have it like be the blank YouTube.
We might have to do that because he didn't give me instructions further than bringing up your heard and word.
That's funny.
Items, yeah. I'm assuming this red button, if I click on it, it'll stop everything.
Let's do it.
But I don't see any. He didn't tell me about any fading out
Oh,
music.
here he comes.
Tense moments on the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show. What happens if you hit the red
his
button?
timing must be impeccable.
He's listening to the show.
Yeah.
The red button does what?
The red
Don't
button
touch
of death.
the red button.
He should have
Oh,
came.
here he comes.
He should have came back.
I
From
hear him trundling in. What is it?
The red button turns the not
right, yeah.
recording sign on.
John, did you hear about the Mariah Carey grunge album?
No.
So like she put out, well, songs. There were songs that they were going to put together for a grunge album called Chick. What do you think about that in the 90s? Are you a fan?
I think it's right up. I'm so tired. I can't even think of your co-host's name.
Kevin?
Kevin. Yeah, right up Kevin's alley.
It's a good chick.
I don't really have an opinion on that. It never came out.
It never came out, but it came the I guess the word of it came out in Jimmy Fallon, like it was a recent Jimmy Fallon topic when Mariah Carey was there.
Well, Kevin, you should be thanking Mariah Carey because it spared your life from jumping off a building or something drastic when you heard incredible music from an incredible talent that should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right?
That's kind of what we said. That was her cheap way of getting into the Rock and
Boy,
Roll
man,
Hall of Fame.
It's Bush League. And the single was going to be Someone's Ugly Daughter.
Yeah. As much as I'd like to act like I'm a Mariah Carey fan just to mess with Kevin, it just sounds weird to me.
It would hurt me more if you told me you were a Nickelback fan.
Was it around the same time when like Hole was like taking off?
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was really kind of it. Like, but it's too coincidental. This timing is too coincidental with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations for 2027 coming up, right? Like, so next year that's kind of forming. She didn't get in this year.
Oh, you think that's why they're dropping these little Easter eggs?
I mean, it feels a little coincidental, you know?
Can you imagine that show where you announce the winners and
Right. Someone's ugly daughter comes up.
yep.
Yeah.
That would be even gayer than Shinedown doing a country album.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Well, John, thank you for taking us out.
Okay, I'll take you out.
All right. Thank you. We'll get you a cot and a pillow. Send you to sleep to Someone's Ugly Daughter by Mariah Carey off the Chick album.
Chick.
We've talked
All
about,
right.
we probably plugged this album. Now we've probably given it too much attention.
Right.
See ya. Happy Thursday.